Welcome back, my friends. Have you ever wondered how to create various greens using the common primary colors? Creating greens, especially the ones that look organic in watercolor, is a fun thing you can do at home. This exercise could help you add vibrancy and depth to your watercolor pieces. Let me guide you through mixing a wide range of greens with primary colors you may have at home. For this project, I used cool and warm blues and yellows. I then arranged them in a grid format. In the upper horizontal row, I placed lemon yellow, Aureolin, Windsor yellow, new gamboge, Indian yellow, raw sienna, yellow ochre, Naples yellow, and finally, raw umber. In the vertical row, there are the following blue colors: cerulean blue, manganese blue hue, Russian blue, phthalo blue yellow shade, cobalt blue, Windsor blue red shade, French ultramarine, and indigo. My primary goal here is to show you how, by changing the ratio of mixed colors, you can create a variation of greens from vivid to muted and from cool to warm. Also, if you dilute the mix by having more water on your brush than color, you will get a more delicate and transparent color. On the other hand, if you use the color straight out of the tube with minimal water, you may achieve a more saturated and opaque green. Here you can see how I slowly add more yellow to the mix and watch how it changes the green color. It's a perfect example of how you can create a variety of greens using just one yellow and one blue color by adjusting how much of each you use and how wet your brush is. In other words, if you are aiming to create a light green using blue and yellow, simply add more yellow to the mix. On the other hand, if you are after a darker green, simply increase the amount of blue in the mix. As I gradually explore the use of more opaque colors like Indian yellow and Naples yellow, along with granulating colors such as cerulean blue, manganese blue hue, cobalt blue, and ultramarine blue, it's important to note how these characteristics significantly impact the final outcomes. Opaque colors like Indian yellow and Naples yellow often lead to more subdued or even muddy results because they tend to contain multiple pigments within themselves. Hence, I recommend exercising caution when considering mixing them with other colors, especially when you're striving to create secondary colors like green. For instance, if you mix an opaque yellow with a transparent blue to create green, the opacity of the yellow might overpower the transparency of the blue, leading to a less vibrant or less pure green. To work effectively with opaque colors, you'll want to consider their characteristics and the specific effects you aim to achieve in your work. They can be quite useful for creating soft and muted color transitions or for adding highlights to your paintings. Additionally, cerulean blue, manganese blue hue, cobalt blue, and ultramarine blue all belong to the category of granulating colors. This means that when they are diluted, they tend to settle and create a textured, sandy appearance on paper. Consequently, these distinctive properties notably influence the resulting greens. Personally, I appreciate the granulation effect in paintings, but some may prefer non-granulating colors such as Russian blue, Phthalo Blue, or Windsor Blue for a smoother finish. If you would like to learn more about watercolor transparency and granulation, please watch my lesson on watercolor properties. I attached the link in the description below for you. While I continue creating new swatches, I would like you to notice that I added two light brown colors that lean towards yellow. These are raw sienna and raw umber. These two colors have the same color index, which is PBR7, yet they cannot be more different from one another. Raw sienna tends to neutralize blue colors and make them appear gray rather than green, and this is due to the nature of raw sienna. When you use raw sienna, you'll notice that it has a moderate level of dullness and doesn't create strong vivid colors. It's not a staining pigment, which means it does not permanently mark your paper. What's interesting is that raw sienna's appearance can vary quite a bit depending on the brand. Some versions of raw sienna can look almost like pale yellow, not too different from yellow ochre. Similarly, raw umber has the same color index as raw sienna. However, raw umber tends to produce subdued, deep greens, and raw umber has its own unique character. It's a darker, cooler brown with a slightly grayish or greenish undertone. Originally, the name umber comes from its use as a shadow pigment in Renaissance painting. Through this exercise, I've discovered the nature of raw umber, which I hardly used in the past. This color opens up the possibility of achieving rich green tones that carry depth and moodiness. So in my future works, where I need to create earthy greens, I'll use raw umber more often to mix with blues. If you're someone who prefers vibrant greens, I highly recommend to use the following staining blue colors like Phthalo Blue or Windsor Blue with single pigment yellows such as lemon yellow, Aureolin, or new gamboge. These dynamic combinations will open up a broad spectrum of vibrant green hues for you, thanks to the value range of Phthalo Blue or Windsor Blue. It's a sure way to achieve those vivid, lively greens you're looking for in your work. I feel like it's important to note that you don't need to limit yourself to using just blues and yellows when creating natural-looking green hues. Consider introducing store-bought greens like Viridian or Windsor Green into your palette. These greens are cool-toned, highly staining, and transparent, making them great choices for mixing. Viridian, with its intense, almost acid-like quality, can be tamed and enriched by blending it with lemon yellow or Aureolin yellow. You can even introduce a touch of red like Rosemary Genuine or light red to balance the green a bit. So try mixing Viridian or Windsor Green with Aureolin and add a touch of red, and you'll be surprised by the beautiful green colors you can achieve through mixing these colors. Finally, you can see I even added indigo to explore the range of colors I could get by blending it with yellows. As you see, I've discovered quite an array of green colors. However, it's important to exercise caution when working with indigo, since it contains 3 colors, including black. Adding another color on top of indigo can potentially mute your colors. Despite this, it was incredibly satisfying to observe how I could create a diverse spectrum of greens ranging from cool to warm and muted to vivid, as well as achieving a wide value range from the very light to the very dark greens. The exploration of these endless color variations has been greatly educational for me, and I felt eager to share my findings with you. I hope you found this video enjoyable and informative. Please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching this lesson on mixing greens from blues and yellows, and I will see you again soon.